Hi guys, welcome back to Lasting Peace. This is the last video that I will be doing with you going through the Bible study Beyond Belief, Jesus Saved You, Now What? And in summary, and gosh, that's hard to do. I feel like we've learned so much, but I want to give us just a real dose of practicality here. None of us are perfect. If we look back at some of the characters that we analyzed early in the study, people that displayed spiritual maturity, David and Moses, they were also massive failures. You know, David committed adultery. He offended God so much that God wouldn't even let him enter the promised land. He'd murdered someone earlier in his life. They were colossal failures, just like the rest of us. And yet, at the same time, with their hearts for God, there's the scripture that says David was a man after God's own heart. And there's a scripture that said Moses was God's friend. They can honestly be considered some of the most perfect examples of mature Christians who sought after and knew God. So, as we're looking at our own lives and longing to develop spiritual fruits and to grow in maturity and to focus all of that out on others so that they grow from our nutritious fruits, we have to remember that nobody's perfect. This is a process. It's going to take time. In fact, it's going to take your whole entire life. And another neat thing about fruit, too, is it grows in season. And we know that from very beginning at Genesis when God said, produces fruit after its kind in its season. So there will be seasons in our life where we feel like we're growing and we're learning and we're thriving, and then others where we feel like there's a drought. Doesn't mean stop. That means go to the quiet place like David on the hillside or worship him. And those are the places then that you just have to go through to be consistent, to know who God is, to know that he's faithful. And as his child, imitate that faithfulness and be there. Show up every time, and God will continue to grow you. Remember, he is the one who brings the growth. And this is another quote I'd love to share with you that I think applies to this. And it's from My Utmost for His Highest by Oswald Chambers. He said, unguarded strength is actually a double weakness, because that is where the least likely temptations will be effective in sapping strength. The Bible characters stumbled over their strong points, never their weaknesses. So it's also in those seasons when we feel like we're thriving and we're doing great that we need to be careful, because pride will sneak in and steal it all away. Thank you so much for being with me this entire 6 weeks. I have loved it, and I would love to hear from you either on my blog or here on YouTube or my Daily Armor or some of the articles that I've written for the Bottom Line. I would love to hear from you, and we can continue to grow together. And in closing, I just want to read you a verse that I think is perfect for this entire conversation. And it's Ephesians 4:6, and by Paul, obviously. I, therefore, a prisoner for the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you've been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, just as we were called to the hope that belongs to the one hope that belongs to your call. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. Thanks so much, guys. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to hearing from you.